Hi, welcome to another episode of The Lord's Delight. Today, we are going to be looking at a unique relationship. I want to call this sisterhood or relationship between women in this world. There is a lot of things that is being said. Some people say we need that to empower us, and sometimes this relationship also gets a lot of flack, saying women put down women, women are the reason other women are not able to rise up. All this put a thought into my head regarding looking at relationship comparison, which is the continuation of the series, but to look at the relationship between different women in the Bible. And I'm not doing this with respect to sisters, or those are relationship we'll explore later. I'm just looking at women. Let's say today's world we would think of as colleagues or relatives. It's not people like mom daughter, mother-in-law daughter. I'm not looking at those kinds of relationships. Those are different. I'm just looking at sisterhood kind of relationships. And there are also examples in the Bible of how not to be in certain kind of sisterhood relationships. So one kind of how not to be is what I see in 1 Samuel chapter 1. Granted, this is between two women who are married to the same man, Elkanah. So this is Hannah that I'm talking about and her relationship with Peninnah. Yes, there is an aspect of like two wives to one man kind of thing, but I want to look at it in the way where these women are relating to each other. And Peninnah, it actually says in verse 6, would taunt Hannah and make fun of her because the Lord had kept her from having children. Taunting between women, I'm not saying that, oh, this is an ideal world, people don't do that. It exists. Jealousy exists, envy exists. But is that how, as Christian women, are we supposed to behave? A lot of times, I have done this too, and I'm pretty sure most people who hear this, everybody who hears this, would have done it. Like sometimes when you say something to a person, it might be needed to be said, but what kind of place is it coming from? What is your intention? What is your motive? And that, if it is to make them feel small or retaliate for something they said, it is not coming from a good place, and that is not the sisterhood that God likes. Let's move on to the good kind of sisterhood. In Acts chapter 9, we see this woman. It's a very small portion that she appears for, and she's called Dorcas. This woman is a follower who lived in the city of Joppa, and she has like two names. She's called either Tabitha or Dorcas. And what it says about her is when she died, the followers heard that Peter was in Lydda and sent two men to ask him to come at once. Peter went with them, and all those women whose husbands had died were standing around crying. These are all widows that she had such a good relationship with, showing Peter the clothes Dorcas had made while she was with them. And she treated them so well. These widows were actually weeping for her, and Peter prayed for her to get up, and he gave them to her a living person. That's what it says. He took her by the hand, lifted her up. Then he called in the faithful followers and the woman whose husbands had died. He gave her to them, a living person. The effect of this one woman on all those widows was such a positive one that they were willing to send a message to Peter, bring him back, show him the things she has done, which pushed Peter to actually pray for a resurrection of Tabitha. That is one kind of relationship. Think about the people that you could minister to or God has put in your lives. What kind of way are you treating them? Instead of looking down upon them, are you looking for ways to minister to them? It doesn't matter how they are. If God has put them in your life, how can you be the person that can minister to them instead of expecting them to minister to you? And I want to talk to you about another example. This is in Luke 1 verses 39 to 45, right? Like during that period, Mary visits Elizabeth. Mary is a teenager who is pregnant. Elizabeth, she's pregnant in her really old age. She was barren for quite some time. But they were so happy for each other and shared their joy. Elizabeth didn't say, "Oh, Mary, you will never know the struggles I went through. This was easy for you." No. They were really happy for each other, and Mary was not lording it over Elizabeth, even though she literally was going to give birth to the Lord. Mary took the effort to go see Elizabeth, didn't think, "Oh, I am going to give birth to the Lord. Let people come visit me." She didn't have that heart. She was pretty humble. If you look at Luke chapter 1, verses 39, at that time Mary got ready and hurried to a town in the hill country of Judea. She is doing this when she's pregnant, where she entered Zechariah's home and greeted Elizabeth. When Elizabeth heard Mary's greeting, the baby leaped in her womb. And Elizabeth, filled with the Holy Spirit, in a loud voice she exclaimed, "Blessed are you among women, and blessed is the child you will bear. But why am I so favored that the mother of my Lord should come to me? As soon as the sound of your greeting reached my ears, the baby in my womb leaped for joy. Blessed is she who has believed that the Lord would fulfill his promises to her." That is the kind of blessing Elizabeth said to Mary. And Mary replies back, right? She is actually singing a song that is given in the next few verses. And verse 56 says, Mary stayed with Elizabeth for about 3 months and then returned home. They were blessing each other and they were happy for each other. They were able to share their joy. So as women, are we able to share in a joy when our sisters are blessed? Or are we just partially, outwardly saying, "Oh, it's awesome," and congratulating them, but inside feeling something else? Or, "Oh, I'm waiting for my time to come. I need to have this kind of blessing." Yes, Mary and Elizabeth had this blessing at the same time, but they were so apart in age, where they were in life, the circumstances, but they still were able to rejoice for each other. So I encourage you, rejoice with somebody who's has such a good news or blessing in their life. Share sorrow with somebody who is struggling. Do not put your schedule and your timeline before God's. Sometimes God disrupts timeline. Look at how Jesus went through all these places. He did not expect that people will be bringing sick people or how long it would take. He was willing to put his schedule on hold, or actually willing to be disturbed. So have that in mind when you have relationship with other women, other Christian women especially. How can you bless them? How can you service them? How can you share your joy or lessen the burden by sharing their sorrow? So I'll talk to you guys next week. Bye.